All, good evening. Welcome to complete Git cache course. So if you follow the video from start to end, I can assure that you can definitely learn key concept of Git along with the key concept of version control system, which is the VCS. So today in this session I will cover what is Git all about, what are the features, advantage and disadvantage of Git having, what is version control system and what is the benefit of that, how many types of version control system available, how you can install Git, what are the different components of Git, what are the basic commands you can use in your daily life, how you can synchronize Git with GitHub, how you can create new branch, delete new branch, how you can push, pull and merge your code, and how in case you already did some mistake, right, how you can revert that commit with the help of first 7 digit of your commit ID. Okay, so if you gone through the video completely, definitely from automation testing standpoint, whatever main use you need to do for Git, you will definitely gain the confidence. So Git, what is Git all about? So why Git is required, right? Sometimes you need to work in a automation project as well, where multiple testers, automation tester will be working, right? So definitely everyone will be having their code, right? And sometime those code need to be synced, right, in somewhere, and we need to save in some database, right? So generally we need to store those code in GitHub or GitLab or Bitbucket. These are the tools available, right? This is the repository where we can create the repository and we can store our code, right? But at the end of the day, everyone is working for a code, right? So they need to sometime pull the code or clone the code, and they will be doing some changes. They need to store in their local repository, and at the end of the day they need to push back to their repository, right? Where sometimes some conflict can come and they need to resolve those conflict as well. So right, Git is the tool through which you are interacting with your repository mainly. So lots of commands available. Through these commands you will be pulling the code, you will be adding some changes in your repository, you will be initializing Git, you are configuring Git with your GitHub or other credentials, right, email ID or credentials, and you will be merging it, you will be rebasing it, you will be reverting any change, and after that definitely you need to push that code to back your that kind of GitHub or Bitbucket or GitLab, right? So Git is a free tool, okay? So you no need to buy any license. Git is completely free, but for the GitHub, so if definitely free version you can use, but you can also buy the license version for the GitHub as well, okay? But Git is a completely free, open source, modern and widely used distributed version control system, DVCS, in the world. DVCS allows full access to every file, branch and iteration of a project, and allows every user access to a full and self-contained history of all changes. Unlike one popular centralized version control system, DVCS like Git do not need a constant connection to a central repository, because in case you are using central repository, so you need to interact with, right, internet connection should be there. But in case you are using Git, right, you can download your code in your local repository, and definitely at that time in case you are working, so there is no internet connection is required. Only whenever you want to sync that code with your GitHub, right, you need that internet connection again, right? So without internet connection, so offline you can do the work in the grid, but centralized repository is not possible. Developer can work anywhere and collaborate asynchronously from any time zone. It was created by Linus Torvalds in 2005. The tool is a version control system or VCS that was initially developed to work with several developers on the Linux kernel. This basically means that Git is a content tracker. So Git can be used to store content, and it is mostly used to store code because of the other feature is provided. It is developed to manage project with high speed and efficiency. The speed is very high. It takes sometimes quite millisecond or seconds of fraction time to push and pull the code, and also the perform the operation. The version control system allows user to monitor and work together with the team members at the same workspace. Real-time project generally have multiple developers working in parallel, so they need a version control system like Git to make sure that there are no code conflict between them. Also, the requirement in such project change often, so a version control system allows developer to revert and go back to an older version of their code. Suppose say today in any automation project, today you are working and you already completed a project, right? You are already developed your code, suppose say version 1, and tomorrow, right, your client or your leadership is saying that no boss, this is not the way you do, whatever you have developed your script, you just change this something, so you will be doing it to 1.1, and after a few days your manager is again saying that no, whatever I told it is not correct right now, so you need to revert back to the original one. So again, in case you are not maintaining any version, so again you need to revert back, right? You need to do all the changes. But in case you are maintaining version, you can just simply take the version 1.0, so that you no need to rework anything. So that's why it's really useful whenever in terms of version controlling. Without version control, team members are subject to, right, redundant tasks, slower timelines, and multiple copies of a single project. To eliminate unnecessary work, Git and other version control system give each contributor a unified and consistent view of a project, surfacing work that already in progress. Seeing a transparent history of changes, who made them, and how they contribute to the development of a project helps team members stay aligned while working independently, right? Because everybody working will be independently, right? And everybody will be having their local repository. And definitely they will take the help from their senior person, their lead as well, but everybody is having their each and every individual repository, and at the end of the day they will try to collaborate with the other user, and they will try, in case of any conflict, they will try to merge. The senior person will do the take lead role, and definitely it will be again pushed to the project, right, or some other branches. According to the latest Stack Overflow developer survey, more than 70% developer use Git. So you can see in the real time, right, in the world, 70% developer use Git as a version control system, making it the most used version control system in the world. Git is commonly used for both open source and commercial software development, with significant benefit for individuals, team, and business. Git let developers see the entire timeline of their changes, decision, and progress of any project in one place. From the moment they access the history of a project, the developer has all the context they need to understand it and start contributing, right? Business uses Git can break down communication barrier between teams and keep them focused on doing their best work. Plus, Git makes it possible to align experts across a business to collaborate on major projects. So definitely, with the help of Git, right, we can collaborate other project, other senior member. With the help of Git, right, you no need to work in the same office. You can work in different office or maybe different country as well, right? So definitely, you will be just taking the path of your GitHub account and you will be cloning or pulling the code, and then you will start working immediately on the code. And after that, at the end of that day, you will be pushing the code back to your GitHub, right? So that's why anyone can from anywhere can work in the Git. Features of Git. Firstly, it is open source, right? So no need any license, no need to buy any license. It is open source and widely used. 70% developer are used, right? So definitely you can get some reference of the Git as and when required in the internet, in the YouTube as well. It is scalable. Git is scalable, which means that when number of users increases, the Git can easily handle such situations. Suppose today 5 users is working, right? So tomorrow 10 users is working, so it will not create any much impact. So Git is already kind of the load testing performance already is performed, so and is already a reliable product and very much scalable. Distributed. Git is distributed, which means instead of switching to the project to another machine, user can create a clone of the entire repository. Also, instead of just having one central repository that users send changes to, every user has their own repository that contains the entire commit history of the project. User do not need to connect to the remote repository. The changes is just stored in the local repository. If necessary, user can push these changes to a remote repository. Suppose say today I am working in a project, right? And today I pull my code, and today I forgot to change it, right? To push back it to, so no problem. Tomorrow I can do it, even after 7 days I can do it. So because whatever changes I am doing, I can even save in my local repository. So as and when required, I can do it. In case you forgot, there is no change, no problem. But definitely, like it is not best practice. So your code should be merged and code should be pushed on daily basis, and sometime for the big project maybe twice or 3 times you can push your code. Security, Git is very secure. It uses SHA, secure hash function, to name and identify object which is within its repository. Files and commits are checked and retrieved by its checksums at the time of checkout. It stores its history in such a way that the ID of commit depends upon the complete development history leading up to that commit. Once it is published, one cannot make change to the old version. So security also is very secure, right? So you no need to worry about the security, right? Because you are working with sometime real-time data of your project, right? In case it is not secure, data can be leaked and it can be huge loss for your project or company. Speed, I already mentioned Git speed is very fast. So it can complete all the tasks in a few seconds time. Most of the Git operations are done on the local repository, so it provides huge speed. Also, a centralized version control system continually communicates to the server somewhere. Fetching version history from a locally stored repository is much faster than fetching it from the remote server, because Git is working primarily in the local repository. That is the reason it's very, very fast, right? The core part of Git is written in C, which ignores runtime overhead associated with other high-level language. Support non-linear development. Git supports seamless branching and merging, because suppose say today there is a default branch called main branch, right? But you can sometimes it can be master branch, but you can create your new branch, and as and when required you can merge those code with your any of the branch, new branch to main branch, new branch to master branch, like that, which help in visualizing and navigating a non-linear development. A branch in Git repository represents a single commit. User can construct the full branch structure with the help of its potential parental commit. Data assurance. The Git data model ensures the cryptographic integrity of every unit of user project. It provides a unique commit ID to every commit through SHA algorithm. So I already mentioned, right, in case we did some mistake, right, with the help of unique commit ID, we can revert the changes. Because in the commit ID there can be 20 or 25 digit, but with the help of first 7 digit commit ID, which will be unique in nature, we can revert back to the original one, right? So it will be unique. We can retrieve and update the commit by commit ID. Most of the centralized versions control system do not provide such integrity by default. So that is the reason we can there is no loss of data, right? Data assurance we can provide assured. Staging area. The staging area is also a unique functionality of Git. It can be considered as a preview of our next commit. Moreover, an intermediate area where commit can be formatted and reviewed before completion. So I will show you how interaction is happening. So there will be remote repository. From remote repository, you can pull your code, right? So immediately it will be your kind of local repo, and from local repo with the help of staging repository, you will be working with the directory, right? So I will be showing the pictures where you can easily understand it. When user make a commit, Git takes changes that are in the staging area and make them as new commit. Users are allowed to add and remove changes from the staging area. The staging area can be considered as a place where Git stores the changes. Maintain the clean history. Git facilitates with Git rebase. It is one of the most helpful features of Git. It fetches the latest commit from the master branch and puts user code on the top of that. Thus, it maintains a clean history of the project. Branching and merging, I already mentioned. Branching and merging are great features of Git, which makes it different from the other SCM tool, software configuration management tool, SCM. Git allows the creation of multiple branches without affecting each other. We can perform tasks like creation, deletion, and merging on branches, and these tasks take a few seconds only. So suppose sometime today you are working with the branch, right? And you don't want to update the master branch from where your production code will be updated. In case you are having some doubt, you can create another branch, right? You can create your version. So that's why, in case you again after checking, you feel confident that you can rebase or merge your code to the master or main branch from where your code will be deployed into the production or other environment. What are the advantages of the Git? Performance, offline working, quality open source project, undo mistakes, track the changes, wide acceptance, and community. Performance. Git performs very strongly and reliably when compared to other version control systems. New code changes can be easily committed. Version branches can be effortlessly compared and merged, and code can also be optimized, right, to perform better. Offline working. Because Git does not work in the central repository concept, right? Central version control system concept. It is a remote one, right? So definitely in offline also you can work, right? So one of the most important benefit of Git is that it supports offline working. If we are facing internet connectivity issue, it will not affect our work. In Git, user can do almost everything locally. Comparatively, other CVS like SVN is limited and prefer the connections with the central repository. Quality open source project. Git is widely supported open source project with over 10 years of operational history. Not 10 years, it's I think 15 years even, right? It started 2005, right? So it's 16 years. People mentoring the project are very well matured and possess a long-term vision to meet the long-term needs of user by releasing staged upgrades at regular interval of time to improve functionality as well as usability. Quality of open source software made available on Git is heavily scrutinized a countless number of times, and business today depends heavily on Git code quality. So Git's open source code, right? So for the long term, definitely we can use it. It's very secured and it is well established. Undo mistakes. So we can undo mistake in case we did some mistake with the help of first 7 digits of the commit ID. We can undo the mistake. Track the changes, right? So we can track the changes of whatever changes we are doing. We can check it. Git facilitates some exciting features such as Git diff, Git log, Git status, which allows us to track changes. So we can check the status, compare our files or branches. Wide acceptance. Git offers the type of performance, functionality, security and flexibility that most developers and teams need to develop their project. When compared to other version control systems, Git is the most widely accepted system owing to its universally accepted usability and performance standard. That is the reason 70% developers are using the Gits only instead of other version control system. Community. Git is very popular, widely used, and the acceptance as a standard version control system by the vast majority within the developer community. It's much easier to leverage third-party libraries and encourage other developers to fork user open source code using Git. The seat number of Git user make it easy to resolve issues and seek outside help using online forums. So definitely, in case the 70% developer using the Git, still it has some disadvantage or drawback. Git requires technical excellence and it is slower on Windows. They have tedious command line to input and does not track renames. It lacks Windows support and does not track empty folder. Right? In case you are trying to do some empty folder, it will create some problem. There is no built-in access control, and it fails with the presence of files having binary data. It starts processing every work slowly. Any file which does not support textual data is not compatible with this technology. It has poor GUI, right? So everything you need to run with the command prompt. So GUI is not good here compatible with other version control system like SVN, and usability and take a lot of resources which slows down the performance. Sometimes if you install Git, it might degrade your performance. Git needs multiple branches to support parallel development used by the developer. Sometimes you need to create multiple branches, right? So these are the few disadvantages available in the Git. Then the version control system we are mentioning, right, about the Git is also version control system. Then what is version control system all about? So version control, also known as source control, is the practice of tracking and managing changes to software code. Version control system are software tools that help software teams manage changes to source code over time. As development environment have accelerated, version control system helps software teams work faster and smarter. They are especially useful for DevOps team since they help them to reduce development time and increase successful deployment. Version control software keeps track of every modification to the code in a special kind of database. If a mistake is made, developer can turn back the clock and compare earlier version of the code to help fix the mistake while minimizing disruption to all the team members. So this is one of the important aspects in version control tool. We can revert back the changes, we can undo mistakes. Software developers working in teams are continually writing new source code and changing existing source code. The code for a project, app or software component is typically organized in a folder structure or file tree. One developer on the team may be working on a new features while another developer fixes an unrelated bug by changing code. Each developer may make their changes in several parts of the file tree. So that is the one of the important, right? Suppose say, right, in a same project, right, you are doing some enhancement, you are doing some modification, or you are just doing some support in the production environment, right? So you can create different branches, and in every branches you can update your code. So that is the beauty of Git, because parallel development can be possible in Git. I mean, any of the version control system, not in Git. Git is also version control system, also possible. Version control helps teams solve this kind of problem, tracking every individual changes by each contributor and helping prevent concurrent work from conflicting. Changes made in one part of the software can be incompatible with those changes made by another developer working at the same time. This problem should be discovered and solved in an orderly manner without blocking the work of the rest of the team. Further, in all software development, any change can introduce new bug, right, on its own, and new software can't be trusted until it tested. So testing and development proceed together until a new version is ready. So that is the one of the main thing of the version control system. So testing and development can proceed together until a new version is ready. Good version control software supports the developer preferred workflow without imposing one way of working. Ideally, it is also work on any platform rather than dictate what operating system or tool chain developer must use. Great version control system facilitates a smooth and continuous flow of change to the code rather than the frustrating and clumsy mechanism of file locking, giving the green light to one developer at the expense of blocking the progress of others. Other two aspects of the version control system is software teams that do not use any form of version control system often run into problems like not knowing which changes that have been made are available to user, or creation of incompatible changes between two unrelated pieces of work that must then be painstakingly untackled and reworked, right? If you are a developer who has never used version control, right, they may have added a version to your files, perhaps with suffix like final or latest. Suppose say in case you are working on Excel, right, you already see just every tester you are working on the Excel used to give like final, draft, all this stuff, right, latest, but we do not maintain any version. We even do not know which part is what of the thing has been completed, right? So it is not a good practice, right? Instead of that, we need to create a kind of version control for our file folder. Each and every version control, whenever we are changing something, will be adding as a comment, so that any point of time we can get to know what is the difference between each and every version with the comment, right? So comment will elaborate that these are the changes has been made in that version, this is the file has been removed, this is the file has been modified, this is the file has been added, like that, right? Okay. So perhaps you have uncommented out code blocks because you wanted to disable certain functionality without deleting the code, fearing that there may be a use for it later. Version control is a way to solve this problem. So in case you are doing, right, first you are doing some draft, right, you can give some version. After everybody is doing their creating their script and you are merging it, you can give function, give a version. After that some version, after some changes came to your part, right, you are adding some file, deleting some file, removing some file, you can do another version with the proper ID. So every time in case you are working for any version, existing version, right, you need to change your part with some message, with some commit message, so where you can elaborately mention whatever thing you are doing. So without version control thing, it is not possible. Version control software is essential part of the everyday of modern software teams professional practice. Individual software developers who are accustomed to work with a capable version control system in their teams typically recognize the incredible value version control also gives them even on small solo project. So in case you are working in a small project also, but in case you are multiple person is working, definitely you need to control your person, right? Otherwise, in case it is a one-man project, that's fine. I am the only person who will be working on the project, so definitely it's in my local repository. So maybe once in a month or once in a kind of as and when required, I will be updating my kind of repository, right? But in case you are working multiple way, so version control tool is the best approach. So any version control tool you can use, but Git is the preferred one because 70% developers are using Git. Benefit of the version control system, right? It enhances the project development speed by providing efficient collaboration, leverage the productivity, expedite product delivery and skill of the employees through better communication assistance. So definitely employee also benefit, they are working and they will be enhancing some skill, right? They will be learning some skill. It reduces possibility of error and conflict, meanwhile project development through traceability to every small changes. In case you are doing a suppose say dot to comma, so also this need to be tracked. So all minute things, even everything will be tracked in different version with some commit. So okay, without commit you can't update anything. Even single small change, dot to comma or comma to dot, hyphen to remove, even if you want to remove a space also, it will be need to be tracked. All the previous version the variant are neatly packed up inside the VCS, right? User can request any version anytime as per their requirement, and they will have a snapshot of the complete project right at hand. Employees or contributor of the project can contribute from anywhere, irrespective of different graphical location through this VCS. For each different contributor of a project, a different working copy is maintained and not merged to the main file unless the working copy is validated. A most popular example is Git, Helix Core, Microsoft or TFS. A distributed VCS like Git allow all the team members to have a complete history of the project. So if there is a breakdown in the central server, you can use any of your teammates' local Git repository. That is the beauty. Suppose in case you are working with the Git, right, which is the distributed version control system. Okay, suppose say your repository got removed completely, but everybody used to work from their local, stored everything from the local repository, right? And suppose you did not started work also, so anybody who already started there from their project, right, and everything is available in their local repo, so you can take the code from their local repo, right? Inform us about who, what, when, why changes has been made. That is the beauty. So you can get to know who had made the changes, whatever made the changes, when they have made the changes, and why they have made the changes. So these are the information you can get it from the version control system, right? There are primarily three type of version control system is available, right? Local, centralized and distributed. But distributed version control system is the very much useful, right, in the real world. Local version control system, it is one of the simplest form and has a database that kept all the changes to the files under revision control. RCS or revision control system is local version control system, right, is one of the most common version control tools. It keeps patch set difference between file in a special format on disk. By adding up all the patches, it can then recreate what any file look like at any point of time. So local version control system is your system. You can, if you want to change something, right, suppose say in case you are working with 3 user, maybe you can change from your same system. Sometimes we can need to use with different user, right, so you can also do that way you can do. Centralized version control system contains just one repository, right? Each user gets their own working copy. User need to commit to reflect their changes in the repository. It is possible for other to see your changes by updating. The benefit of centralized version control system makes collaboration among developer, right, along with providing an insight to a certain extent on what everyone else is doing on the project. Because whenever you are working on the centralized version control, everybody can see what the other person is doing, because it is same copy, right, same repository. It's only one repository. It allows administrator to gain control over who can do what. It has some downsides as well, which lead to the development of distributed version control system. The most obvious is to single point of failure that the centralized repository represent if it goes down during the period of collaboration, and saving versions change is not possible, right? What if the hard disk of central database becomes corrupted and proper backup had not been kept? You can lose everything. So that is the important drawback, right? So to avoid this drawback, we are developing everything with the distributed version control system or DVCS. Distributed version control system contains multiple repository. Each user has their own repository and working copy. Just committing user changes will not give other access to their changes. This is because commit will reflect those changes in their local repository and user need to push them in order to make them visible on the central repository. Similarly, when user update, they do not get other changes unless they have first pulled those changes in the repository. Okay, so I will just let you know the flow, how it works, then definitely you can get to know. There are several type of version control system that today teams use today. Some are centralized, some are distributed, right? Here are few popular version control system. I tried to give example: Helix Core, Git, SVN, ClearCase, Mercurial, and TFS. These are the some important version control systems nowadays. Most of the project you are using, right? So Git is an also version control systems. SVN is also, but each and everything some drawback or advantages there. Branching. The branch in Git are easy to edit or delete. This process does not result in conflict, whereas the branch in the directory, right, are pain to work on in SVN. This difficulty is because this result in multiple conflicts. Storage. Large binary files are difficult to store in this system. So there is a limitation on the binary file. Whenever there is a binary file, so it creates some problem in the Git. Whereas SVN, large binary files are easy to store and they do not take much place also. User friendly. SVN has more straightforward interface that one can comfortably use in short period of time, but Git has much more complicated interface and functionality, so it takes some time to use it. Speed. Changes can take place at a faster rate because of easy branching, right? Whereas in SVM, editing a file on SVM can be challenging as it has more rigid directory. Saving changes. A distributed system will include a local repository in which new files containing changes can be present. A centralized system includes a central server only, and hence changes are seen in the original file directory. So these are the basic differences for between Git and SVN. Sometimes interviewer can ask you, so please be ready. Most important question: Git and SVN difference as well as Git and GitHub difference. So next is difference between Git and GitHub. So Git is a version control system of distributed nature that is used to track changes in open source during software development. It aids in coordinating work among programmers, but it can be used to track changes in any set of files. The main objective of Git are speed, data integrity, and support for distributed nonlinear workflow. Whereas GitHub is a Git repository hosting service. Plus, it adds many of their own features. GitHub provides a web-based graphical interface. It also provides access control and several collaboration features, basic task management tools for every project. So Git is a version control system, right? Whereas GitHub is a Git repository hosting service. How to install Git in your system? Just navigate to the site https git-scm.com download, right? So if you go to the site, right, so you will be finding some options called Mac, Windows and Linux. So if you click on the window, some relevant file will be loaded. If you need to open the file, you need to just go click like that way, and after that Git will be installed in your system. Okay, once you install it, right, so if you definitely during installation you need to set the path. So primarily it will be set in the C drive. So in the C drive, if you go to the program files, right, there will be a file called Git available, right, and the Git you can find, right, there is a Git bash, Git cmd is there, right. So this is the Git bash through which we can work with the Git command, right. Also if you open cmd, you can see here there is a Git GUI or Git case available, so we can work with these two also, but definitely we will be not be using Git GUI or Git K much. We will be using with Git bash only most of the time. Open command prompt, enter Git and press enter to check it has been successfully installed or not. If suppose you can go with cmd from the command from the runs, and you can go, right, open your command prompt as well. Here you can type simply Git. If it is installed, you will be getting all the details, right. You can see here. If you want to check the version, so you can type here Git --version. If you want to get the help, you can see Git version 2.32.0 Windows.1, right. If you want to take the help, so Git --help, right. You can see all the commands available in Git, right. Diff, log, show, status, branch, commit, merge, rebase, reset, switch, tag, fetch, pull, push, right. and each and every command has impact also, whatever is the important, right? Add, store, rm, clone, init, you can get to know the importance. So sometimes you can get everything from your Git only. Okay. The next is Git repository. So repository in Git is a place where Git store all the files. Git can store the files either on the local repository or on the remote repository. It is a virtual storage of your project where you can keep all the resources or file of the project along with a special folder called .git. What is the language used in Git for the development purpose? Git is a fast and reliable version control system, and the language that makes this possible is C. Using C language, right, reduces the overhead of runtimes which are common in high level language. So most popular Git hosting repository, right, where you will be interacting with the Git, right? It's GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, right, Beanstalk, right, Fogbuzz, Surround SCM, and the body. These are the important popular Git hosting repository, right? What are the components of Git? So I already showed you, right? Git comes up with built-in GUI tools like a Git Bash, Git GUI, and Git K for committing and browsing. It also supports several third-party tools for users looking for platform-specific experience. Git Bash. So this is your Git Bash. This is your Git CMD. So if you open that Git CMD also, if you just try to find Git here, you can see also it has been installed like that thing. You will get it, right? So this is the Git Bash, and this is yours. If you open CMD, there is two files, right? Git GUI and Git K, right? So if you open Git GUI, so it will looks like that GUI. From here you can create something, but I did not use that one. But in case some of the developer are used to use it, Git GUI. So let's open it. Okay, so this will look like that. Okay, so this is open here. Okay, so you can create repository, clone repository, open existing repository, right? This is the like you can create also new open like that also. You can take the help. Okay, and another one is Git K. So we need to set the repository first, after that you can find it. So these are the primary few components of Git. Git Bash. Git Bash is an application for the Windows environment. It is used as Git command line for Windows. Git Bash provides an emulations layer for a Git command line experience. Git package installer contain Bash, right? Bash utilities and Git on Windows operating system. Bash is a standard default shell on Linux and Mac OS. A shell is a terminal application which is used to create an interface with an operating system through commands. By default, Git Windows package contains the Git Bash tool. So whenever you will be Git Bash, so definitely you will be getting all the command from the Git, right? As well as you can get all the command from Windows or the Linux shell command. You can get it. That is the benefit of Git Bash. Git GUI I already showed you. It's a powerful alternative to Git Bash. It offers a graphical version of the Git command line functions as well as comprehensive visual reference tool. User can access it by simply right click on a folder or location in Windows Explorer. Also user can access it through the command line by typically command Git GUI, right? So if you open here Git, right? So if you type here Git GUI, okay, you can also open it with that command Git GUI. Okay. Okay, you can see it's open, right? That is open here, right? So that's also you can open in Git GUI, right? Similarly, right, Git K is a graphical history viewer tool. It is a robust GUI shell over Git log and Git grep. The tool is used to find something that happened in the past or visualize user project history. Git K can invoke from the command line, right? We can type here Git K. So similar way it will be invoked instead of opening from here, right? Git K. So that's why I can work with the Git. Okay. So you no need to worry if you know the Git Bash. So it's fine. So with the help of Git Bash, especially whatever is required for the automation testing, we can do all the transactions. So what are the basic commands available in Git, right? Lot of command available. Still I have tried to include all the important command here, right? So to use Git, developer use specific command to copy, create, change and combine code. This command can be executed directly from the command line or by using an application like GitHub, desktop or Git Kraken. Here are some of the important commands which will be using in Git. I have tried to give here. Git init, this is the command which initialize a brand new Git repository and begins tracking an existing directory. It adds a hidden subfolder within the existing directory that houses the internal data structure required for version control. Git clone, create a local copy of a project that already exists remotely. The clone includes all the project file history and the branches. Git add, stage a change. Git track changes to the developer code base, but it's necessary to stage and take snapshot of the changes to include them in the project history. This command performs staging, the first part of a two-step process. After you adding something, if you add git add and then if you git commit, so that will be saved in your local repo. So in case you are adding git add command, so it will be added as a staging index in your staging index. After that, if you commit it, so it will be save your local repo, and from that local repo you can push your code to your GitHub or other repository, right? So this command performs staging, the first part of two-step process. Any changes that are staged will become a part of the next snapshot and a part of the project history. Staging and committing separately gives developer complete control over the history of their project without changing how they code and work. Then next is git commit. Saves the snapshot of to the project history and completes the change tracking process. In short, a commit function like taking a photo. Anything that has been staged with git add will become a part of the snapshot with git commit. Git status shows the status of change as untracked, modified or staged. So definitely from that term itself, sometime you will not able to get it, but I will be showing each and every command so that you can get it easily. Git branch, if you type that command, you can get to know all the branch whatever is there in that particular git. Git merge lines of development together. This command is typically used to combine changes made on two distinct branches. For example, a developer would merge when they want to combine changes from a features branch into the main branch for deployment. Git pull updates the local lines of development with update from its remote counterpart. Developer uses this command if a teammate has made commit to a branch on a remote, right, and they would like to reflect those changes in their local repository environment. So we need to pull the code first. Git push update the remote repository with the commit made locally to the branch, right? Then git checkout -b branch name. So with the help of git checkout and branch name, right, git you can create a branch. But if you use git checkout -branch name, so it will be create a new branch as well as check out to that branch directly. Git branch -d branch name will be used to delete the specific branch. Git rebase applies sequence of commit from a distinct branch into the final commit. Git difference track the changes that have not been staged. Git log displays the most recent commit and the status of the head. Git checkout switch between branch in a repository. Suppose in case you are having multiple branch, right, so you need to use git checkout and the branch name. Git revert undo the changes for a particular commit. Git rm removes the file from the working tree and from the index. So this is your pictures. So if you just are comfortable with that particular pictures, you can get to know how the each and every command will be using, right? Git bash and git shell are two different command line program which allow user to interact with the underlying git program. Bash is a Linux based command line while shell is a native Windows command line. So both the command will be available, git command as well as Linux based command, right? Some of the basic operations in git are initialize, add, commit, pull, push, right? This is the below diagram, right? You can refer here. So first your code will be available in your remote repo, means either in GitHub, Bitbucket or GitLab, right? This is your remote repo. So first what you need to do, right? You need to pull your code. So as and when you are pulling your code, right, it will be stored in the local repo, right? And after that, from local repo, we need to move our code to the right working directory. So as and when it is coming with the help of checkout, right, we will be in our working directory. And working directory, we can change whatever you want to do. We can add file, we can delete file, we can update file, right? After that, from the working directory, we need to add them in the staging area. How can you adding it? We will be using git add command. So after that, it will be added to the staging area in the local repository, and after that, if we go to store in the final local repository, we have to from the staging area, we need to change in the local repo. So with the help of git commit. So that's way your git internal process happen, right? First, everything will be there in the remote repo, right? Your GitHub account or GitHub repository, and then you pulling the code. Once you pulling the code, we can check out your working directory, and from the check working directory, definitely, right, we can add some file, so that we will be adding git add command, we will be moving it to the staging area, and from the staging area, if you want to save into local repo, we will be committing it, and definitely we can merge it, right, the code, before push it back to our remote repository or GitHub, Bitbucket or GitLab. Okay, so I will show you how you can also create a repository in GitHub, right, without any readme file. So just if you want to open GitHub, right, so you need to open that particular URL, https://github.com. so once you open it for the first time, right, so if I log out it from here, so it will be look like that, GitHub. So github.com, right, and after that you need to sign up or sign in, right. So definitely for the first times, if you want to sign in, right, you will be not be having any account, right, so you need to create an account here. So in case if you want to create an account, right, so you need to give your username, user email and password. After that, with those things, you need to sign in here. Okay. So you can, with the help of those your email ID and account, you can just sign in. So first you need to create your account. So this your username or email, anything you can give, and your password, whatever you are creating it, and you need to click on the sign in. After sign in, GitHub will be like that. So GitHub where you are storing everything, all your code, right, and through Git you are interacting with the GitHub, right. You can see, so this is the repository already created here, right. If you open any repository, you can find, right, what are the files already there, right. So you can see this is the readme file available only in the repo, right. In the readme file, under the readme, in the readme file, these are the content available, right. So this is the content available. So in case you have multiple change, you write multiple time, you can see these are the different changes will be coming, right. Each changes will be having some commit ID. This is the commit ID available, right. And in your repository, if you are having multiple branch also, right, you can get it. Suppose say in case I am going to one of the repository, right, and you can see if you open here from the branch, right, you can see main branch, new branch, each and every branch your file will be different, right. So this is the file is available in my main branch, and if you open any file, you can see here the file is still be there, right. What are the commit, who have committed it, right. You can click on this, you can get it, all the history, right. And if you want to create a new repository, you need to click here and go new repo, right. If you want to see your email ID or your details, right, you need to go to the settings part. Suppose say you forgot your sometime your email ID, you know your only your user ID. So this is the user ID, right. So and if you go to your account here, okay, you can see, I think this is still your user ID, and if you want to go to the email section, you can definitely go to know your email ID, whatever email is associated for your project, right. Suppose say any repository I want to delete it, right, so you can go to your repository, so you find out all your repository, right. Suppose say in case I want to remove some of the repository, you can open it, right, and you can get to know everything details, how many folder is there, how many branches is there, right. Here you can see there are 3 branches, new branch, master branch and main branch, right. And if you want to add a file, you can add it, no problem. And if you want to see the path here, right, so you need to click on the code, right, drop down, and you can get the path of your Git repo, GitHub repository, right. And if you want to remove it, you need to go to the settings here, remove the repository from the GitHub, and if you go down here, right, there is a button called delete this repository. You can delete it from the GitHub, or you can archive it, right. You can transfer the ownership to the other persons. You can change the visibility to private and public like that. Okay, now say let's I will create a first repository, right, new repo. Okay, so here right, so I'll be creating it git training 1. Okay, so you can see if it is available, so it will be giving the message green one, right. So you can see there is an option called private and public, so I'll be keeping it public. I don't want to buy a license for the GitHub, and here there's options for adding some readme file, so I'll be not be adding it anything. So I'll be simply creating the repository, so here only name is there, right. So by default I am not associating anything. You can see that's why the file is getting created. So I did not add anything. And how you can interact with that particular file, you can see here, that is the command already presented here, right. So with those git you can also do work in the same way, right. So this is the only that repository is created, and in the repository nothing is available. So if you want to change something with the help of git, you can do it, right. How can you do it? So here even now readme file also there, right. So I'll be I want to interact with the git, right, git. So I already show where the git is available in your project. Apart from that, if you install git, right, so here if you open Windows menu, right, so there will be folder available git. Okay, there will be git folder available. If you expand it, there will be git bash. So everything I will be try to drive from the git bash, right. Okay, so then after opening git bash, I will create a directory, right, create a folder. So open git bash terminal, enter the following command to create a folder, right. So same folder name I can create it, right, whatever repository name, git training 1. So I'll be entering comment here, right. So let's go close the other one. Okay, this is your git bash. So mkdir, this is the comment, right, and then folder name. So what is the name I have given? So same name, even if you can different name, it's not be a problem. Git training 1, right. So press enter. Okay, so it is still in the default master one, right. So I need to move to that folder, cd, then git training 1, so that it will go move to that folder. Okay, now you can see here it is now I am in the git training 1 folder, right. So where the folder is created, right, so you can get to know where the folder is created. So right now there will be not be created completely maybe. Okay, so I can see where the folder is created. Okay, so let's see whether it's there or not. If you open it, so generally it should be in your C drive, right, in your users, in the user name here, git training 1 it's created, right, it's created, and nothing is there, right, no subfolder is there, right. So I can create some folder, sorry, file here. So suppose I want to create the file called readme, and I also want to add some, right, content, right. So I'll be using that command echo and double quote, then content and that sign, and this is the file name, because in the git by default there will be readme file, right, but I did not I did not created that one by default. So I'll be use that command, right, simply from here, echo echo. So what is the importance of the command? So it will create the file, whatever file name you are giving, as well as you can enter the command instantly, echo and then double quote, right, and here I will be giving hash, right, and the content here. Suppose I want to give git that part I want to enter, right, and then again you need to give that sign, right, greater than sign, and then the name of the file. So this is the file name is in the git is readme.md. I know that is the reason I am creating the same file. So now with the help of echo, and this is the file content, and then greater than sign, and this is the file name. So immediately file will be created as well as that part will be added in your file. So now if you see here, readme file.md file created, right? And if you open it, so git crash course training will be added also here. So that's why you can create a file and you can add the content, right? After that, if you want to check the content whatever is there in the file, right, from the git bash you can also verify it. So you need to press command called cat and the file name readme.md. so that's why you can check what are the content available for the file, right? So cat readme.md, if you type here, so you can see the content, you can get it. And there is another comment available called ls. If you type here, you can find how many files is there. Yeah, Ankur, please go ahead. Like Linux command, right? So that is the reason git bash is giving you Windows, Linux command as well as the all the git command, right? So all the most of here Windows shell command only, right? Linux shell command, make directory, cd, echo, everything, cat, ls, everything, right? Now I will initiate my git. So from here git is started, right? Git init. So before doing any work, you need to do with the git init, right? So I will initiate first git init, right? Once git is initiated, you can see here initialized empty git repository, any path it is giving, right? So .git folder is not visible, right? But you can get to know the path, right? From where it is located, now you can get to know. And .git folder is hidden, okay? Then you can add the file, right, in the directory, right? So this is the graph. So here we are working on the working directory right now, and if we want to go move our code from the working directory to the staging directory, we need to add git add command and then git commit command. So I will be moving it to local repo. After that I need to push the code to a remote repo, right? So that's how it happened. So I will be using git add and the file name, right? Git add file name, exactly readme.md, right? After that I need to commit the changes, right? So here you can see commit the changes. Commit can be thought of as a milestone. Every time user accomplish some work, they can write git commit to store that version of their file. So user can go back later and see what is look like at that point in time. Whenever user make a changes to their file, user create a new version of that file different from the previous one. So that way you need to give the commit, git commit -m, and that is the commit message. -m and commit message within a double quote. So suppose say first ever git commit ending with double quote, okay, and just press enter. So you can see now, you can see, right, master root folder, right, first ever git commit, one file change, one insertion. That means that readme.md file will be ready for push to our repository, right? Then I need to go to the main branch, because here whatever is there, right, it is there. You can see right now nothing is there here, right? Only I have created the repository, so nothing is available, right? But by default we need to go to the main branch, right? So I need to use git branch -m then main. So that is the command I will be writing to go to the main branch. So by default only main branch will be available in your GitHub account, right? So I will be writing, typing git branch -m then main, okay. Okay, now it is main branch from the master one. You can see still it was in the master branch, that folder, now it is main branch, right? After that, how I can connect that git with my GitHub account? So that command I need to write git remote add origin, and that path you will be getting it. From where you can get it? So https github.com and then your username and the folder name and then go .git, right? So that's why you can get your path of your repository. So here you can also get it, right? This is the path already. So no need to worry. This is nothing. https://github.com and this is my username, right? Haradhan -lab, and this is the repository name I have created, Git training 1, and this is the extension of the file, right? So I'll be copying it, and I'll be writing the command here, git remote add origin, right? Git remote add origin and then the path here. So I already copied the path, so you can't use Ctrl V. So instead of that, after copying, right click here and paste it, okay, and then enter, okay. And after that you can push the code directly to the main directory of the GitHub, right? So you can use git push -u origin main, git push -u main. Let's see it's working or not. In case it is not working, so previous lines of code whatever I have written, git config -global credential dot provider generic, you need to use it. So I already set up my account, that is the reason it's working. But in case it is not working, you can add before that command for the first time, git config -global credential dot provider generic. Otherwise for the first time or even sometime it can throws an error. So please use that command in case after that one it is not working, git push -u origin main, right? So now it is successful, right? Okay, so main branch, my commit has been successful, my push has been successful. Now if you refresh your code here, right, refresh your project GitHub training, you can see that readme.md file will be added here with that particular text, right? You can see now readme.md file came here, right? Whatever commit ID I have given, first ever git commit, right? That was the message I have tried to given here. So how can you get it? You can go up here, you can see here whatever commit message I have tried to give, right? Yeah, you can see first ever git commit, that is the message I want to give it. So it is coming. What is the file name? readme.md, that is the file name. What will be the content of the file? Right, the content of the file is git crash training courses. So whatever I have added here, right, git crash training courses, also it should match here, right? That readme.md file, it should match here. So that is the one way of, right, creating a repository from the GitHub, and then you are creating a folder in the with the help of git gas command, and then you are creating something in your with the help of git, right? You are adding creating some files, you are adding in the staging directory, you are committing the changes to your local repo, and you are pushing the code to your GitHub account, right? So that is the one way you can do it, okay. Then I will show you how you can create a GitHub repository with readme file already, and you can update some readme file. After that you will be interacting with the GitHub account, right? Sorry, git command with the GitHub account. So here I will open a new repository, sorry, not import one, new repository. So here it will be git training 2. Okay, it is still available, it should be public here, and I will be creating add readme file by default, and you can see, as and when I am checking it, you can see by default main is coming, right? Main as default branch, right? So I can create a repository, right? So you can see immediately readme file is there, and that is the by default name is coming based on your name you are giving it, right? Based on your repository name. Now if you want to update it, right, you can update it also. Open it, and there is a button, pencil button, edit this file, so I can edit it, right? Okay, similar way I can give some hash, okay, update made, right, to change the file content, okay, and then I can save it, right, here. So you need to give some commit changes, right? Commit ID and optional action. So suppose say first commit from GitHub. Okay, and you can also give it, right, also same way. So instead of that you can change it something like that, test update made, that is the optional one, so that your commit changes, right, along with the changes. So if you want to interact with here with the main branch, you can do it. Otherwise you can create a new branch as well, right? So you can commit changes. So here in the GitHub itself, right, you can see now it is one contributor, 2 lines of code is there, git training update made to changes to the file content, it is available, right? And if you click on the history here, you can get to know all the history, right? Initially it was created, right, and then after that I have commit changes with timing, committed 2 minutes back, and this is the first 7 digit of your commit ID. This will be unique in nature, right? With the help of commit ID and with the help of git commit command, we can revert back the changes to the file. Okay, now your project is there, git 2 training 2, right? So I already created a created a repository git training 2, where by default I have checked the readme.md file, and after that on the readme.md file I have made some changes also, right? So that is the first part done. Create a GitHub repository with readme file and update the same file. Now I will be creating same way new training, new folder, right here. So I can close or I can clear it, right, all the command, right? So how can you use it? So git clear message, so everything will be clear. Okay, okay, you can see everything will be clear. Similar command is clean. Okay, git clean maybe, let's see. Okay, it's not working. You can close it, or maybe you can, okay, I can close it. So I will be working a new repo and I can open it again. Otherwise you can continue, there is no problem, but I will be showing you from the scratch again, right, that how to interact again with the another repository where I have also created the readme.md file by default. So I will be creating another file called mk directory, right, git training 2. Okay, and I will be going to that place with the help of command cd git training 2. It's fine. Let's see whether it's going right. It's navigating to, and sometimes it is required for the first time. You can configure your user name and your email address. Okay, so with the help of that command git config -- global user.name, so username will be Haradhan Pal -lab for me, and user email address will be haradhan196.pal@gmail.com for me. So in case it is not working, sometime you can also configure it. So git config command is used initially to configure the username and user email. This specifies what email ID and username will be used from a local repository. This command sets the author name and email address respectively to be used with your comment. So I already set it up. In case if you once you configured, so again you no need to configure it, right? So in case you did not configure, you can do it. After that I will be initiating again, right? So with the help of git init, okay, and now you can see that particular folder will be available. So git file will not be visible because this is a hidden file, but I can directly go to that path here, right? So here another folder will be there called git training 2. Now if you open it, nothing will be there, right? So git training 2. Okay, now I will be creating some file here, right? Text file, right? Some file here I can create it manually. So test1 txt file, suppose say test-1 I want to keep it. I'll be creating another 2 more file here, suppose say test2 and test3, test2 and test3, okay, test2. So I can update it to test2, save it, also update one, that is 3 also. So these 3 file have created, all are txt file. Okay, now after creating, right, few files, if you want to check the status whether it's committed or not, you just add the command git status, so you can see what is the status of the file. You can see here, right, on branch master no commit yet, these 3 untracked file is there. So first after creating you need to add, right, them to your index, right, you need to in staging area, staging index area, with the help of git add command, and after that with the help of git commit command you need to move them from the staging area to the local repo, and after that you need to push it to your remote repo with the help of your path of the GitHub repository, right. So that's why it's work. So with the help of status you can get it. Now if you want to see how many file is there, you can type ls command, you can find, right. If you want to see any file content, right, like cat test1.txt, similar way cat, you can see cat text, and if you want to use the same command, use up key from your keyboard, right, you can see here. So if you want to use similar command you can also do it, right. Now if I want to check test3 also, so I can check it also similar way, right. So you can find it. After that I will be adding them, right, to the staging area, right. So git add all the file name space separated by git add file name test1.txt space test2.txt space test3.txt. okay, so in case it is fine, it will be fine. After that I need to commit it. In case it is single file, so I will be using -m, right. In case it is a multiple file update, we will be using git commit -m, -m and pass commit. In case it is single file, I can use that git commit -m and the commit message. In case it is a multiple file, I will be using that commit message. So I will be using git commit -a -m and the message, right. So message is 3 files added, right, in the git training folder, training 2 folder. Okay, so that everyone can get to know easily what are the thing you want to do, who did already, right. Let's press enter. Let's see whether your file is, you can see create file test1.2, test1.3, test1.3 file changes, right. Now again if you want to see how many file is available, we'll be seeing 3 different file, right. Now I'll be modifying some file, right. So suppose say I want to modify one file, right. Suppose say I'll be modifying it, modified. Now if you want to see how many file is there, so ls, still same file. Now one test1.txt modified, right. So if you want to check the content here, cat test1.txt, you can get it, right, the content, modified content. Otherwise if you want to check the changes on the last commit, right, you can use git difference, right, git diff, you can see the difference, right. You can see this is the difference in the file test1.txt. previously it was test1, now it has been changed to test1 modified. The red one the previous one, and this is the green one is the latest one, right. So after modified, again you need to commit it, right. Okay, so I will be committing it, so I will be committing it, okay, same way, right. I will be adding the message called test1.txt file updated, right. I will be adding it. So it is committed now. Now if you want to check the log, with the help of log you can see how many commits already happened. So you can see the, with the help of git log command, see all the commit, right. First you can see this is the commit happened, we have 3 file added, the second commit also we have performed. Now this is my commit message, this is my commit id, right. So that's why you can also get all the commit, right. Now if I want to delete some folder file, right, So suppose say I want to delete file 2 or 3, so git rm the file name, right? So git rm, suppose say I want to delete test3.txt. Now 3 files is available here, test1, test2 and test3, right? Now I want to delete it with the help of git rm test3.txt command. So it will be deleted, right? So you can see now test3 is vanished here because it's deleted, right? So because again I have deleted, so I need to again use the commit command, right? So I'll be using the commit command here. So let's see here test. So here what I did, test2.txt file I have deleted. What is the file? Test3, right? Or test2? Okay, test3 I have deleted. Test3 file I have deleted, yeah, because test3 file I have deleted. Okay, so I am commenting again, and now if you want to see how many files is there, so ls command only, right? And if you see, right, any commit is available here to commit something git status, so nothing will be available, right? Because everything we have committed, all the things we have committed, right? So if you want to see the log, git log, so you can see all 3 committed now, right? 3 committed. One is 3 file created, second one is 1 file updated, third one is test3 file deleted, right? Now if you want to push your code, right, to that particular repository here, so I need to get the path here from that code options after clicking on that, and I will be using the same command here, git remote add origin, right? Git remote add origin and the path of the GitHub repository for that particular repo, and I will be adding it. Okay, now I will be pushing my code. In case you are having some trouble, you can use that command, otherwise that's fine. Git push -u origin main, git push -u origin main. Okay, okay, it is showing some error, failed to push some reference to GitHub repository origin main. So let's see what is there here. Try to refresh the project. Main branch is there. Git push -u origin main. So did I miss something? Git push -u origin space main. No, I have did the same thing here. There is no problem. Git remote add origin. That is the path I have also given here. How to run it once more time. Error specifics main does not match anything. So here it will be origin master, so that git push -u origin not main, it will be origin master. So once you are entering that command, it will be successful. So now if you refresh your project, refresh your repository, you can see the changes, right? So in the main, nothing was there, no update was there, but if you go to the master here, new branch will be created, right? So you can get those files, test1 and test2. So the main file, in case you are already creating something, it might be troubles, but you can create a new branch here in the master branch. So test1 and test2 is available here. Okay, you can see test1 modified the latest part. Similarly for the test2 folder, you can get to know the details part. So that's why you can also interact with that one, right? Now the third part I will show you how you can push the code from the GitHub, and then how you can do some update and how you can pull the code to your GitHub, right? So that is the third part I will cover here. Okay, so how you can pull the code? Let's try to create one more repository. Git training 3, I'll be creating three. Okay, same way public, I'll be adding some repository here. Create repository in the main branch. So by default readme file will be created. I can update the file same way, right? File update made. If you want to give some comment message, you can give it, otherwise it will take by default that one. Commit it. So now it is committed here, Git training 3 as well as file update made. If you want to check all the version, if you click on the history, you can get to know all the history here. Two history, one is this is the user, first second one is updated, and first for the initial comment, right? And if you go to the, if you want to get the path here, you can get it from here. This is your path, right? So now I will pull the code instead of in the previous two part you already see. So in the last I am just updating the changes, but you are not pulling the code in your local repo, right? So here I will just first I will pull the code, then with that particular code I will try to do something. After that I am doing something, I will be pushing the code back again. So I will be creating a folder here. Sometime if you don't want to use make directory also, suppose if you already created a folder, suppose say now in the D drive I want to create a folder here, right? Same folder name I can give it, right? Git training 3. I'll be creating a folder directly manually. I can give that in different folder name also, it does not matter. Training 3, right? After that, if you opening the folder, if you right click here, there is an option called git bash here, right? So you can open the git bash from here also. Okay, so there is no need to create that particular two code lines of code, make directory or go cd that folder name, right? I can open git bash here. So by default it will navigate to that folder itself, right? You can see that by default it is already that particular folder, right? Git training 3. So you no need to create the folder and you no need to type cd in that folder name. You can directly use git init command, git init, initialize git, right? So that path you can see git d drive, and that is the folder path, not git, right? So nothing is there now. Now my next will be, I will be connecting git to my GitHub account initially, right? So git remote add origin, git remote add origin, and then the path of my repository here, that is my path, right? After that I will be, right, pulling the code, right? The git pull command is used to fetch and download content from a remote repository and immediately update the local repository to match that content. So here in that new folder nothing is available here, right? So I have just connected with the GitHub account. So now I will be pulling the code, git pull origin main, right? Git pull origin main. So it will be pulled in my main repository. So it will be fetch, right? Now if you see here, you can see readme file already added here. So I am getting the code from my GitHub account right now in my local repo. So if you open it, so whatever changes was made, right, initially git training 3 and file update made, that is coming also now. Okay, so that's why I can pull my code from a particular repo. Then I can create some files here. I can create some files, suppose say file say test1, and I can give here git training test1, right? I can create one more file here, right? Git training test2, and I can update it. Okay, now two file has been created. Now if you want to check the status, so definitely those two file will be untracked position, git status right? You can see 2 files are untyped position. If you type ls, only 1 file will be displayed. Okay, 3 files is getting displayed because those are already created here, right? It is displayed, but this is not added to my staging area as well as not added, not committed to my local repository, right? So I have to add them. In case multiple file, you can use git hyphen add, then the file name, or you can simply use git hyphen add, git space add hyphen a command. So whatever file edit, deleted, or update you are doing, it same single line of command you can do it. Git add space hyphen a caps. Okay, and you don't need to give any file name, it will be added. Similar way, with the help of that particular part, I can give it, right? Git commit hyphen a space hyphen a, then space hyphen m, and the commit message to new files created. Enter, it will be committed, right? Now if you want to check the status, so nothing will be there, so everything is committed now, right? Okay, then I can create a branch here, new branch, right? So with that command git checkout hyphen b branch name, I can create a branch and I can check out to the branch directly. Now we are here in the master branch, right? So I will be creating a branch and checking out. Git checkout hyphen b, git checkout hyphen b. Suppose I want to create a new branch, so that is my branch name, new. So it will be new branch will be created, as well as it will be checking out to the new branch, right? So here now you can see here that is available in the new branch. So those in the new branch, those 3 files also be available, right? So by default, okay, you can see 3 files is available. Now it is in new branch, right? So now try to create few more files here in the new branch, right? So try to create few more files here. So let's try to create 2 more files here, test3 and test4, test3 and test4. So those 2 files are creating I am my new branch, not in the default master branch. Please remember it. Okay, so test4 I can update it, test4. Now test3 also I can update it. Okay, now I can, if we want to check how many files is there in the new branch, we can get all the 5 files, right? By default readme, test1, test2 was there, and test3 and test4 I have created, right? So I need to commit the changes, right? So I add them to the staging index area. So git add hyphen a, git add hyphen a. Adding it staging index, I need to commit the changes. Okay, so here 2 more new file created, 2 more new file created in my new branch. Okay, that is the comment message I want to give, so it will be committed. Now if you want to check the status, so nothing will be there to commit, everything is committed. Okay, so that's why you can do it. Now if you want to check out to the master branch, right, and if you want to see how many branches there, grid branch, so you can get to know how many branches there are available. You can see grid branch, master branch, and new branch is highlighted, right? So it is pointing to the new branch. So I can check out to the other branch, green checkout master branch. So it will be checking out to the master branch. Now if you want to see how many files is there in the master branch, you will only file 3 files, right? readme.md, test1 and test2, not test3 and test4 will be there, because those I have created in my new branch, right? Now it has been moved to my master branch, right? And you can see only 3 files. Now if you check out to the new branch, you can see 5 files. Okay, so now I want to merge the codes with the new branch for the master branch, right? So I will be using git merge new branch name, git merge and new branch name. So now it will be merged. You can see those 2 files added in the master branch as well. Now if you check with ls, you can see 5 all the folder file is there. So that's why I can merge with any branch, right? Okay, now check out to the new branch again. So git check out new branch again, right? So after checking out to the new branch, right, I can update any file. So suppose say I want to update the file here, I just want to here update only to 1. Okay, I have removed all the part. So test1 folder, it will be only 1 or test1. Okay, or only 1. Let's keep it only 1, right? Just update it. So now you need to commit the changes in the master in the new branch, right? So git add -a, git add -a, because I am already in my new branch. So all the operation I am performing in the new branch, then I can commit the changes in my new branch. So here, right, test1 folder updated, test1.txt updated. Okay, updated. Now it's also committed. So here git status, nothing will be there to commit. If you search with ls, all the file will be there, 5 file. Now if you check the content here, git test1.txt, so only 1 will be displayed here, right? You can see only 1 is displayed. Now if you check out to the master branch again, git check out master, you can go to the checkout. If you try how many file is there, same way. But if you want to check the content here, so it will be the previous content, right? Not that one updated one, because master branch is not merged still. That part is not merged. The previous part was merged only, right? So cat test1.txt. So it will see the previous one. You git training test1. Now if you want to merge with the master branch, so new branch, so you can merge it. Git merge new branch name. Git merge new. So it is merged now. Okay, that file has been updated. Now if you see how many file is there, and if you want to see what is the updated code here, cat test1.txt, you can find only one, right? Now it is working fine. So I have pulled my code, I have updated something, I have committed something, I have created new branch, right? I have updated, committed something, I have merged my code to the new branch in the master branch. Now I want to push it to the origin, right? So git push origin new branch. The branch name you can give it, git push origin, and the branch name is new. You can give it, so that code will be pushed to the new branch, right, to the GitHub repository. It might take some time. Now if you refresh your project here, you can see there will be new branch will be created, and in the new branch you can find, so the main branch is not getting impacted. In the new branch you can see all that folder for, right, readme file, test1, test2, test3, like that. Okay, and if you click each and every folder, you can find all the commit history, right? You can see, that's why. Now here only, right, new and main and right kind of new branches available. Now similar way, if I want to push the code to the master branch also, I can push it, right? So git push origin master, because now both the branch already merged, same code is there, I can push it to the master branch. So here GitHub new master branch will be created, and similar way I will find 5 folder, right? Okay, so like readme.md, and then test1, test2, test3, test4, like that. Okay, now if you refresh it again, you can see there will be another branch will be created, which is called master branch, right? You can see it is coming master along with new, and here also 5 folder will be there. Okay, if you open any folder, you can find it, right, all the history message. History will be there. So that's why you can, right, you can pull your code, and you can commit changes something, you can create new branch, you can merge your code to the new branch, and you can push back to the GitHub code. So that is the one complete life cycle. Then I will show you how we can revert any commit. In case you are reverting, you want to revert something, how you can do revert it, right? So suppose you did some mistake, right? So how can you revert it? So here I will be go check out to the new branch. So git check out to the new branch, right? And you can see, if you see how many folder is there, so 5 folder is there still, right? So I will be creating a file, right, called revert.txt or revert changes.txt here. So I will be creating a file called revert.txt, okay, and here I can update it called, right, git revert code testing, okay. I want to update it, right. Now you can you need to add it, right. So git add, in case it is only one file, I can provide the name of the file here. So revert.txt, then also I can, sorry, fatal message, what is the problem? revert.txt did not match any files. Okay, let's try to use git add. Okay, it is fine. Then I can commit then the file, right, git commit -m, because it's only one file, git commit -m. So revert.txt file created. Let's try to commit it. Okay, what's the problem? Okay, sorry, not add, or git add, it will be git add, not add one. So it will be git commit. Okay, so it will be committed here, right. Now what I will be doing, I will update some changes, okay. After staging the file, you can commit it, okay. So first I will be creating the files, add comment, commit it. After that I want to update the file. Suppose say revert.txt, I want to update it, right, revert code testing, then updated on 4th July, that part I am adding it, right, okay, I am saving it. So that particular part I am adding it, okay. Now if you want to check the status here, so you can see that something is need to track, right, because that part added, modified, right. So I need to track it, right. So git add -a, git add -a, then I need to commit it also. So same way I will be committing it, git commit. So revert.txt file created and it will be updated, right, updated. So it will be updated here, right. Now say I want to revert back to the previous one. So I don't want to update the file, I want to get the content here, only the first part. So I want to remove the part, right, whatever last commit I have did, some mistakenly I have did it. So I want to revert back to my original code, right. So here it is a file, you can do it, remove it, but in case it's multiple lines of read, you do not remember what you have did it. So how can revert back to the original one? So first you need to use the command git log, okay. So I'll be using git log, so you can get all the commit, okay. So you can see all the commit, right. So what is your last commit? Last commit you can see here, revert.file txt updated, right, and previous one, that is your commit, means file have been created only, right, with the time and date. So I want to go back to that step, so I want to revert that one. So you need to go and find the first digit of the commit ID, to which state you want to revert back. So not that one, right, because I want to revert back to the file created options, not the file update part. So here I'll be taking the first 7 digit of the commit ID, right? So 2 3 4, okay, 2, and okay, this is the first 7 digit. I will be copy pasting it. Let's please remember it is will be first 7 digit, right? So that it will go to the original one file created part. So I'll be copy pasting the first 7 digit here. After that I need to do it, that run the command, right? So now if you want to okay, here some problem is coming, so I can close it. Okay, sometimes some problem is coming, I can close it. I already taken the commit message. Okay, and from here I can again open my git bash, so it will be by default here, right, in that particular folder, right? And you can see it is a new branch by default. So if you want to see ls folder, you can see everything. Now if you want to get the revert back.txt, what the context is there, right? So revert, okay, I have given the file name is txt.txt, that is the problem. So it was not taking revert.txt.txt. I need to give the same way. Okay, now you can see this coming as git revert code testing and hyphen updated on July 4, and I want to remove that one now with the help of the first digit of the commit ID, right? So I'll be using git checkout, then the first 7 digit of the commit ID, okay, and then the file name. Okay, it is why not taking. Let's try to paste in some notepad. So it should be there. Okay, somehow it did not taken, right? So I can again check it, right? So git log. Okay, so again I need to close it. So this is my 7 digit of the ID. Let's try to copy it, and I will take only the first 7 digit here. 2 3 4 5 6 7. I'll be removing that one. I need to close it again, because that is creating some problem whenever I am typing the command git log. So I'll be opening it again, git bash here, and so by default it will be new branch, and you don't need to worry about anything. So if you want to see how many folder is there, you can find it, right? Again, if you want to check the file text, so revert.txt.txt, so you can see that part is coming. Now you need to update the commit, right? So git checkout first 7 digit of the commit ID, git checkout. I'll be copy pasting it, the first 7 digit of the commit ID here. Control C here, I'll be pasting it, control paste here, and then space, I'll be giving the file name, right? So revert.txt.txt. Okay, so you can see updated one file from, right, that one with that help of commit ID. Now if you want to see the text, right, here you can see it is showing as previous one, right? So it has been reverted. Now if you open the file also, right, revert.txt, you can see the updated with 853, that part already reverted. So that's so you can revert the changes in case you did some mistake to any step, right? If you already did 3 to 4 ahead, you can go to the 3 to 4 ahead before also. Okay, so that is the different part you can learn from the Git. I think that's all from today's session. Okay, I will be repeating once more time what I have tried to cover here. So from the today's session you can already know what is Git all about. So Git is an open source free tool which is part of your distributed version control system, right? So features: open source, scalable, distributed, secured, right? Speed and data assurance, staging area, right? Branching and merging. Advantage: performance, right? Other part. A disadvantage: what is version control system all about, what is the benefit, how many type is there, right? Version control system, local version control system, centralized version control system, and distributed version control system. What are the example version control system? Git, SVN, clear case, Mercurial, TFS, helix code, right? And difference between Git SVN with Git and GitHub, how you can install Git, right? What is Git repository, what are the language used, C is the language used. Most popular Git hosting repository, GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, right? Buddy, Surround, SCM and Fog work. Okay, these are the component Git bash, Git GUI, Git K, but Git bash will be majorly used. These are the different command available in Git. So I have tried to show all the command, right? Important of all the command. This is the architecture, please remember. So this is your remote repo, means you are interacting with GitHub or Bitbucket or GitLab, right? First you will be pulling the code, right? And that code will be checking out and working directory. After that working directory you can do something, right? Add, remove or edit file. You will be adding with the help of git add command. You will be moving the changes to the staging area, and from the staging area to the local repo with the help of git commit. You can create branch here, and you can merge your code with the multiple branch to the master branch, main branch, like that. After that you can push your code to the remote repo, which is nothing but the GitHub, right? You can open your GitHub account, right, with your credentials, right, name and repository name and email ID. You can create a repository with or without readme.md files, right? And you can interact with the git command. You can push the code, right? In case multiple files, how you can already get to know how you can add them to the staging area, as well as commit the message. How you can set up your configuration for your username and email, how you can initiate it, right? Git init, how you can remove the file, and how you can push the code. And in case if you want to pull the code, so definitely after initiating you can pull the code, right? And after that you can make some changes. You can create a new branch. You can merge the code, your new branch with the master branch or main branch. After that you can push the code to your new branch as well as to your main branch, and you can check the same impact, whether same is getting reflected or not in your GitHub account. In case you did some mistake, you can revert any commit with the help of first 7 digit of the commit ID. Okay, so that's all from today's session. Thank you.